If you're listening right now, I just want to say thank you. Whether someone sent you this episode or you stumbled across it on your own, I'm glad you're here. My name is Doug. I'm a dad, an advocate, and the host of this podcast, Logan's Voice. I started this show after losing my son Logan to fentanyl poisoning. He wasn't trying to die, he was trying to get through the day, and like a lot of people, he thought what he was taking was something else. So now I speak out for him and for every person out there who's ever felt alone, overwhelmed, or like life was just too much. This episode is for you, especially if you're a teenager who's just trying to figure things out in a world that doesn't always make sense. Maybe you're carrying stuff that nobody sees. Maybe you've got people dependent on you or ignoring you or pressuring you. Maybe some days it's hard to even care what happens next. And when you're in that kind of headspace, it's easy for things to go sideways. Someone hands you a pill at a party, or some guy online says, "Hey, this'll help you relax." Or a friend offers you something that they've taken before and says, "Don't worry, it's safe." But here's the truth. Nothing in the illicit street drug supply is safe anymore. Not one single thing. You might think you're taking an Adderall or a Xanax or something to help you sleep or study or stop the noise in your head, but what's really in that pill? It could be fentanyl. It could be carfentanil. It could be a mix of drugs so dangerous, even one dose could shut your body down. I'm not here to lecture you. That's not what this is. I just want to have real conversation. Like one I wish I had with Logan, or him with me, before we ended up where we did. So in this episode, we're going to walk through some of those moments, real situations you might face, and talk about how to protect yourself. I'll give you some ways to say no, how to back out without looking lame, what to do if you're already in a bad spot, and how to build your own safety plan for the future. Because I need you to hear this. Your life is worth protecting. You matter, even if you're hurting, even if you've made mistakes, even if nobody else is telling you that right now. So let's talk. All right, so let's start with something that happens a lot. You're at a party, the music's loud, the lights are low, maybe you're with friends, maybe you're trying to meet new people. You're not looking for trouble, you're just trying to chill, have a good time, and then someone comes up to you and says, "Hey, want one? It's just a Xanax. This'll make it more fun." Or maybe they don't even tell you what it is. They just say, "You'll feel better, trust me." Here's the thing. That moment right there, that's the fork in the road. And I know saying no can be awkward. You don't want to look scared. You don't want to be the weird one. You don't want to kill the vibe. But what you might not realize is this could literally be a life or death decision. Because the drug supply in this country is so poisoned. Pills are being made to look like prescription meds, but they're not coming from a pharmacy. They're being pressed in dirty labs with who knows what inside. Fentanyl, benzos, animal tranquilizers like xylazine. So how do you get out of that moment? How do you say no without blowing everything up or getting labeled the buzzkill? Here are a few options. Pick what feels right for you. "I'm good, man. I've got stuff to do tomorrow." "No, I'm on meds. Can't mix anything." Even if you're not, you're allowed to lie to stay alive. Or, "I've got random drug tests. Not worth it. Appreciate it, but I don't mess with that stuff." "I'm good with what I've got." Say it with confidence and move on. You don't owe anyone an explanation. You don't have to make a scene. Just hold your ground and change the subject. Most of the time, people move on to the next thing in 5 seconds. Also, have an exit plan before you go. If you're going to a party, especially with people you don't fully trust, set a code word with someone you do trust. A parent, sibling, mentor, whoever. Something like, "Hey, did you feed the dog yet?" That could be the signal, I need you to come get me now. And if you're riding with someone and they start getting messed up, don't get back in the car. Seriously, call for help. Call an Uber, call a friend, just don't risk it. I know it's hard to speak up, but you're allowed to protect your own life. The point is, you can walk away, and you're not lame or soft or boring for doing it. You're smart, you're brave, and you're still here. And that matters more than anything. Let's talk about something a little quieter. It doesn't happen at a party with loud music or a crowd around you. It happens on your phone, in your DMs, on Snapchat, maybe Instagram, maybe even Discord. You're scrolling, minding your own business, and then someone messages you. Could be someone you sort of know, could be a complete stranger. Hey, I've got something to help you chill. You okay? You want something to take the edge off? Need to focus? I got Addies. Got bars if you want to sleep. And if you're already feeling low, stressed, anxious, or just done, those messages can sound weirdly comforting. Like someone sees you, like someone gets it, like they have the answer to whatever storm is happening in your brain. But let me tell you the truth. This is not someone trying to help you. This is someone trying to sell you poison and frame it like a gift. Now, here's where it gets real dangerous. Sometimes they don't even say words. They just use emojis. Yeah, those little smiley faces and fruit and shapes you send all day, dealers use them to hide in plain sight. Here's just a few you should be on the lookout for. There's the little emoji that's like a pill capsule, usually pressed pills like Percocet, Xanax, Adderall, etc. That's what that means. And then there's a little red square or a red diamond. That equals fake Xanax. And then there's the snake, fentanyl, or something deadly. And then there's the plug, like on the end of a lamp cord. That's someone who supplies drugs. And then there's a cloud, weed or vapes is what that means. And then an alarm clock, Addies or Adderall. And a syringe, meaning heroin or other injectable drugs. Or the little smiley face with the dollar coming out of his mouth means payment talk like Venmo or Cash App. They might even use combos like a pill, a dragon, or a red square and a piece of candy to suggest it's a strong or deadly pill. These emojis are their code, like hieroglyphics. And just because something looks cute or harmless doesn't mean it is. So what do you do if someone hits you up like that? First, just don't engage. You don't need to be polite. You don't need to respond. Block, report, and walk away. Block, report, and walk away. If it's someone you know in real life who's dealing, that's harder. But your safety has to come first. You can say, "No, I'm good," or "Not my thing." Don't hit me with that stuff again. And if they push, that tells you everything you need to know. You can also screenshot the conversation and talk to a safe adult about what to do next, especially if you feel like this person is pushing stuff on other people too. If you're in school, there may be someone on campus you trust, a teacher, a counselor, a coach. If not, there are crisis lines and anonymous tip lines where you can speak up. You're not a snitch for protecting lives. You're a hero. And if you've already said yes to something online and now you're scared, please don't try to hide it. There is help. You can come back from a mistake, but only if you're still alive to learn from it. So here's the bottom line. If you get that message, that offer, that emoji stuffed DM, just know this. You're being hunted by people who don't care if you die. That's not love. That's not help. That's exploitation with a smiley face. Say no, block them, and then go find someone who does care. Because people who really love you will never offer you a pill to numb the pain. They'll sit beside you while you face it and help you get through it alive. Okay, so let's talk about one of the toughest situations of all. What happens when it's not some stranger at a party or someone sketchy online offering you something? What if it's your friend? Someone you trust? Someone who's been there for you? Maybe someone you hang out with all the time. They're not pushing you like a dealer. They're sitting next to you, maybe passing you something your way, saying, "It's just a chill pill. I take them all the time. It's not that serious. You need to relax. Come on, just once. We're all doing it. I promise it's safe. I got it from someone I know." And here's the trap. You want to believe them because you know they're not trying to hurt you. They're not being shady. They probably think they're helping. But the thing is, they don't know what's in that pill any more than you do. They're trusting a chain of people that leads straight to someone who doesn't care if either of you live or die. So what do you do in that moment without blowing up your friendship or turning it into a huge scene? Here are a few approaches that might work. The soft but solid no. No, I'm trying to stay clean right now. Or I've got too much going on. I can't risk it. Or I've seen too many people go down from that stuff. Or you could use the truth bomb. I've lost someone to a fake pill. I'm never touching that stuff again. I know people who took something once and didn't wake up. Or flip the script on them. You really trust what's in that? Like 100%? I care about you, and I'd hate to see you end up as another headline. Sometimes saying something like that can actually make them pause and rethink. You might not just be saving yourself, you might be planting a seed that helps your friend wake up too. But if they get defensive, if they call you lame or boring or act like you're no fun, that tells you what kind of friendship you've got. Because real friends don't pressure you to risk your life. And if it gets to a place where you need to step back from that friendship, even for a little while, that's okay. It doesn't mean you're abandoning them. It means you're choosing to stay alive. And you can't help anyone else if you're not here. Also, if you are that friend, the one who's handed someone something before, thinking it was fine, I want you to say this gently but clearly. You don't actually know what's in the pill. Even if you took one last week and it was fine, that doesn't mean the next one won't kill you. Pills in the same batch can have completely different amounts of fentanyl or xylazine. There's no such thing as a safe street pill. So if you've made those mistakes, offered something, tried something, it's not too late. You can stop. You can get help. And you can decide that starting today, you're not going to be the reason someone else doesn't wake up. Okay, so what if you're already in the middle of it? What if you already said yes to something? Maybe you took a pill, hit a vape, swallowed something someone handed you, and now your heart is racing, or your body feels weird, or maybe you're starting to panic, or maybe it's not you, but someone you're with, a friend, a classmate, or your ride home. They're suddenly slurring, passed out, not breathing right, or not breathing at all. This is the part nobody wants to talk about, but it's real, and it happens, and you need to know what to do. So let's walk through it. No fear, just some facts. First, if you feel like something's wrong, trust that feeling. You don't have to wait for someone to stop breathing before you act. If you feel shaky, sweaty, confused, or your chest is tight, tell someone. Call for help. Don't lay down. Sit upright or on your side if you're dizzy. Try to stay calm. Slow your breathing. If you're alone, call 911 or text someone who can come quickly. And if someone else is unresponsive or overdosing, call 911 immediately. Even if you're scared, even if you've been using. In most states, including Arkansas, you're protected under Good Samaritan laws. That means you won't get arrested for calling for help during an overdose. Say the words, I think someone is overdosing. They're not breathing. That'll get help moving fast. If you have naloxone or Narcan, use it. Spray it in their nose and wait a minute or two. If they don't respond, use another dose. And stay with them. Try to keep them breathing. If you know how to do rescue breathing, do it. Tilt their head back, lift their chin, and give them a breath every 5 seconds. It might feel terrifying, but listen to me. You'll never regret calling for help. What you will regret is walking away or freezing up and finding out later that someone died when they didn't have to. Now, here's another thing I want you to know. If you've used something and you're scared, you can still come back from this. Even if this isn't your first time, even if you've already made some decisions that you regret. There are people who will listen, people who want to help, not punish, not shame, just help. But you've got to reach out. Text a crisis line. Talk to a counselor. Tell an adult you trust. And if you don't know who to turn to yet, that's okay. Just start with this. Stay alive. Let that be your first step, because nothing you've done or tried or been through makes your life less valuable. You're not too far gone. You're not a lost cause. And you're still here. And that means there's still time to heal. Still time to get better. Still time to write a different ending. Let's be real. Most of us don't think clearly in the moment when things go sideways, especially when we're scared, peer pressured, or trying to not look weird in front of our friends. That's why it's so important to have a plan before you ever end up in a sketchy situation. It's like putting on your seatbelt before the car starts moving. I mean, you don't wait until the car is crashing to think, maybe I should have done something to keep myself safe. So here's what I want to leave you with. Make a safety plan that works for you. Something simple, quiet, no drama, but powerful enough to save your life if it ever needs. Step number 1, choose your safety person. Pick one adult you trust, not necessarily a parent, but someone who gets it. Someone who you could call, text, if you're stuck and needed help getting out of a bad situation. Let them know ahead of time. Hey, if I'm ever at a party or somewhere that I need to leave but can't explain, can I text you a code word? If they say yes, lock that in. That person just became your lifeline. Next, set up a code word. It could be anything. Did you feed the cat? How's Aunt Linda? The charger's not working. Whatever it is, it should be something that sounds normal but tells them, come get me, don't ask questions, I just need out. And that trusted adult, they agree ahead of time not to yell, not to grill you in the car, not to make a scene, just help you get home safe. You can talk about it later. And step 3, have a backup ride. If you're going somewhere without your own car, have an Uber or Lyft installed on your phone. Know how to share your location. Stash some cash somewhere just in case your phone dies and you need help. Also, never get back in the car with someone who's been drinking or using. Doesn't matter if they say I'm fine or I've only had a little. If your gut says no, listen to it. And step number 4, use safety apps. There are apps that let you share your location with a parent or trusted friend. Life 360. Snapchat Ghost Mode with select location sharing. Find My Friends on iPhone. Set them up before you need them and let someone know where you're going, even if it's just, hey, I'm headed to Ashley's house, be home around 11. That tiny step could make a huge difference if something goes wrong. Know how to get Narcan. If you're hanging out with people who use or in a space where you might be exposed to fentanyl, even by accident, you should know how to get naloxone or Narcan. It's free in a lot of places, easy to use, and it saves lives. You don't need to be paranoid to be prepared. Having an exit plan doesn't make you a buzzkill. It makes you smart. It makes you powerful, and it means you get to keep living. Because I'll tell you this straight up. No party, no friend group, no one moment of feeling included is ever worth your life. You don't owe anyone a yes. You owe yourself a future. If no one's told you this today, you're allowed to live. You're allowed to say no. You're allowed to walk away, ask for help, make mistakes, and start over. You're allowed to protect your life, even when the people around you don't get it. I know this world feels heavy sometimes. There's pressure to look okay, to act okay, and to be okay, even when you're breaking inside. But here's the truth. Pretending you're okay when you're not doesn't make you strong. Asking for help, that's the real strength. This episode wasn't about scaring you. It was about arming you with the truth, with tools and choices, because your life matters. And I'm not saying that just to be nice. I'm saying it because I've lived what happens when someone you love doesn't make it home. My son Logan was funny, creative, compassionate, and struggling. And one fatal dose ended everything. That's why I do this. Not to tell you what to do, but to make sure someone told you the truth before it's too late. Because this poison drug supply doesn't care how old you are or how smart or how much potential you have. It's not playing fair. So we have to fight smarter. We have to love louder. So take what you've heard today and make it real. Make it yours. Make a plan. Choose your safety person. Talk with a friend. Save someone's life, even if that someone is you. And if you're hurting, really hurting, don't go quiet. Don't try to carry it all on your own. Call 988 or text 988. Reach out to a crisis line. Talk to a trusted adult. I'm proud of you for listening, and I'm rooting for you, always. This is not the end. Your story is still being written, and it's worth telling. Until next time, stay safe and keep going. I am Logan's voice. I am Logan's dad, and I will not be silent.